Okay, folks. I'm live. I hope you can join me. I'm not really sure how to set this up so people can join me. I'm thinking, hopefully, hopefully people can join me. Let me see if I can see this on. Okay. Okay. It shows I'm live. I hope people can log in. Okay. It says I have one viewer. Is someone here? Is someone here? Did it work? Did it work? Or was that me looking at it on YouTube myself? Oh, please comment if you can hear me and see me. I've had the darndest time figuring this out. Oh, now my viewer went away. Okay, so I will just go ahead and wait just a minute because I can always edit this later. All this dead time. Oh, can you see? You can see and hear me. PQ. Thank you. Oh my gosh. I have no idea why. So I thought, okay, I'll just do the basic YouTube live through just YouTube. And I thought that would be less bandwidth and that would be easier and simple, but I don't know why it didn't work. So this is through StreamYard, which is like an app, streaming service thing that this is just the free version because I'm like, it's so expensive. I don't want to, pay for extra. And apparently this is how I'm going to have to do it. I'm not sure why the other YouTube live didn't work because on my end, and I took screenshots. I probably could show you on my phone. It said I was live. Like this is what it said. And it showed me that there were, viewers, but then my daughter was like, we're waiting to get in. And I'm like, she's in Hawaii. And she was like, I can't see or hear you. It's waiting on Dawn. So I'm not really sure what happened with that. That's really frustrating. But anyway, we're here. Yay. Whew. Thank you for being so patient and for all of your help in helping me figure all these little things out because it's, can be frustrating, but I'm so glad you're here. Thank you so much for sticking with me. And it says I had 2 viewers. Oh, okay. So where are you watching from? And PQ, I did a whole thing talking about Canada on the last video, which you couldn't see and hear because I could see your comments as you were commenting. And so I thought you could see or hear me. And I literally talked for 15 minutes thinking I was live, but okay. Moving on. Breath. So Canada. So what I was saying is I have some dear, dear, dear sweet friends that are from Canada. And they would come and visit us they would not visit us, but they would visit us when they were visiting Hawaii. They would come like every year, every couple of years. And I've always wanted to go. I see some of their pictures of where they live and it's just beautiful there. So have you ever been to Japan? Your dream is to retire in Japan. That's exciting. Wow. Yeah, Japan it's a wonderful place. But, I don't know. I'm sure you saw it in my other videos, but Tokyo. we went to Tokyo for the first time 2 weeks ago now, maybe 3. My daughter came when she brought my son over, and she was here for her birthday. And so she wanted to go to Tokyo and go to Skytree. So what else did we do? We only did an overnight. So from our house to Tokyo is only like an hour and a half. So it's not that bad. And, but we didn't want to like come back super, super late, or I don't know. We wanted to go ahead and just make the most of our time there. And everything's so expensive. In perspective, I know Hawaii is super expensive, but we're like, well, okay, let's find a cheaper place. So I found this Airbnb, and it was super reasonable. It was simple, no frills, just exactly what we were looking for. All the hotels and the different places, even the capsule hotels were going to be pricey because there were 4 of us. So when you add that up, but anyway, we went to Tokyo, and we went to Tokyo Skytree. We went to Team Labs Planets, super fun. Yeah, Planets. That's the one where you wade in water. Yeah, I think it was Planets. And then we did Team Labs, Tokyo Planet. We went to Skytree. We went around the mall there. We went to, what else did we do? Oh, my mind is spacing. But I have tons and tons and tons of video, and I'm going to do a video of all the things that we did there. Yummy food. We went to Denny's. And that was fascinating because my father-in-law's favorite restaurant is Denny's. And so every time we would go on family vacations with my husband's family, we'd always go to Denny's for breakfast. And so for fun fact, in Tokyo and maybe other places, but we found this true in Tokyo, people are up super late, and then they don't start their day till like 9 or 10 o'clock. So finding somewhere for breakfast open before 9 o'clock is almost impossible. Some of the coffee shops were open, but we found Denny's was open at 9 o'clock. Well, 9:30. Yeah, and we had to clock out, check out of our Airbnb. And so we put our bags in the coin lockers at the train station at Skytree, and then went to Denny's. And it was so good. It was so good. I mean, it wasn't like the traditional Denny's, but I had the traditional Japanese breakfast with salmon and miso soup and rice. And then my kids, I forget what else they had, but they ordered these pancakes. They always love pancakes everywhere we go. So they had pancakes, and it came with ice cream on top and a caramel drizzle. And it was on the dessert menu. The pancakes were on the dessert menu. It was really fascinating. A place called Nihonbashi. Ooh, I'm going to make a note of that. I'll have to try that out. Yeah, because Tokyo is only an hour and a half from our house. So we plan to make some different excursions into Tokyo. I personally prefer quieter, less crowded places. So Tokyo was a little, but I came in knowing it was going to be crowded and busy and kind of a little chaotic. So that made it okay. And we were there for my daughter's birthday. Oh, I remember what else we did. It was super rainy. It rained almost the whole time we were there, except for the very last day. And we were like, okay, what can we do that's inside for a little bit? Because we were just soaked rats. Like our shoes were soaked. It was it was interesting. And so we went to Round One, which is this multiple floor amusement place. Okay. Yeah, things are a little bit cheaper where we are right now as opposed to Tokyo. But I had a question that I was going to answer in case no one showed up and asked questions. one of my answers for what was one of the surprising things that didn't expect, that we've discovered in our first few months here, is how expensive it is to travel. Public transportation is super amazing and very convenient and timely and consistent and easy. If you use Google Maps, it's so easy to get anywhere in Japan. It's amazing. But what I didn't realize was how expensive it is. So, well, I take that back. I assumed that the train would be cheaper than other modes of transportation. But what we found is the tolls are super expensive if you're driving. There's lots of tolls that you have to go through to go places, and that adds up. And oftentimes, like if you're going to go, like say we're going to go to Kyoto or Osaka or Hokkaido or wherever, flying can be cheaper than driving. And so I thought that was really interesting. And the train, it can also be cheaper to fly than do the train, depending where you're going, and how many transfers you make. I think there are slow trains, which are cheaper than high-speed trains. Yes, the Shinkansen. So I had two friends that came to visit. We had only been in our house maybe a month, and two friends came to visit. It was wonderful. Well, actually, it ended up being three. But we were going to venture down to Nagoya, and the bullet train prices were so expensive. Just from Yokohama to Nagoya was going to be, I think it was like 160 round trip. Yeah, I think it's around something like that. Whew. And then you had the local trains, because we had to take two trains to get to the Shinkansen station. And then from the Shin station, a couple of trains to get to our location. So it adds up fast. So you just have to be smart about it and plan accordingly. So tourists pay less than residents per train. Really? That doesn't seem fair. Really? I thought it was all the same. I mean, tourists paying less than residents, I feel, is very unfair. And like in Hawaii, we had a Kama'aina rate. And so Hawaii residents could get a cheaper price on things. So I just assumed that was the thing here. But I did hear, okay. I did hear that they were going to start, and it could have been an urban myth, but I did hear that Japan was going to start putting extra fees for tourists on like locations and like restaurants and things. I'm not sure if that's true or if that's just, okay. Oh, my son just reminded me what else we did in Tokyo. We found this little stream. Okay, so we had a bit of time to wait until our Skytree time period to like go and do our tour, because my daughter booked the twilight or the sunset time period, which highly recommend. It was like 5:30, and so we got to go up and see the view and then see sunset. Oh, it was amazing. Oh, highly recommend. And then we got to see all the city lights. It was the best of both worlds. Highly recommend the 5:30 slot. But so we had time to kill. So we went and ate at this wonderful little ramen shop. And then we went walking along this little park, not far from Skytree. And there was this little channel or this little fishing area, and there were all these grandpas that were sitting there, and they were fishing. The sign said you can't keep what you fish, so I guess it was you can't keep what you catch. So I think it was just their casual, and I think it was a Saturday. No, it was a Sunday afternoon. And so all these little grandpas had their buckets and their little poles, and they were just catching their little koi and fish. And so then we saw all these little kids and parents in the park. And then we saw a sign, and they were doing, I think it was only 100 yen to fish. And so my husband and son went, and they paid their 100 yen. Ooh, no, the sound is bad. Okay, thank you for letting me know. I'm trying to use this. Oh, maybe the fan. I'll turn the fan off. Maybe that'll help. They were able to fish for koi. And it was so funny because my daughter and I were kind of standing outside the area, and we were watching them, and we could see the koi just swimming right past their poles and right past them. And we're like trying to tell them, like, put your bait there. But yeah, but we had to leave to be able to get to the sky tree. So they didn't get to finish their whole, like, I think it was 2 hours they could fish, but it was super fun. And it was just a neat little relaxing, casual thing to do. It was little, yeah, I love those little things. Little off the beaten path, local, non-touristy things. Okay, you were too intimidated to take the trains. So back in 2018, I'm trying to think. I wonder if Google Maps has been a lifesaver. And I don't know when they beefed up Google Maps, because that has been our saving grace, using Google Maps. We use it to get everywhere. Yeah, I was scared about the trains because I grew up in Alabama, and then moved to Hawaii, and then, we moved here, and I'd never lived in a place where public transportation was a thing. I never even really took the bus anywhere. We always just drove. And so I was really super nervous about doing public transportation and figuring that out. But it has been surprisingly easy. I mean, there is a learning curve, and I'm going to do a video on all the different things to be sure and know exist in Google Maps, because I've just been finding things by default. And if I'd known some of the things before, it would have made things a lot easier. But yeah, I was so lost. Oh no, no internet. How did you survive? Oh, I can't even imagine. I mean, even trying to use Google Maps walking around, I feel lost because it doesn't track real time. So I can't imagine not having internet, not speaking or reading Japanese. You are so brave. Oh my goodness. And alone. Oh my goodness, you are so brave. Wow. Hats off to you. That's amazing. Yeah, that's amazing. So I'm confident that you would be able to be just fine retiring in Japan. I'm curious, have you started learning Japanese? Since that time? Is that a goal that you have? I mean, Google Translate is pretty awesome, and something that, is very convenient to use. But I'm curious if you have started trying to learn Japanese. It is so complex. Whew, my brain. I'm still going to try. I'm not just going to expect people to, speak English, or my goal is to not always have to use Google Translate every time I'm trying to communicate. So yeah. Let's see, let's go to, and if anyone's new, I'm Dawn, and I just moved to Japan in January. from Hawaii. My husband got a job here. And so we've been living and learning and discovering things all around Japan since January. It's been a while now. And I try to post once a week at least, some day in a life or a house tour or cooking video or something like that. So I hope that you will subscribe and follow along on this little journey of mine. Okay, so I started a Japanese class. I taught katakana, but I think kanji is better. Ooh, yeah. Yeah, it's interesting because originally I thought, okay, if you learn, so there's katakana, kanji, and hiragana. And so I thought, okay, you pick one and then you're good. But you've really got to know katakana and kanji, because what I've noticed, the signs, it has a combination of both. So you may be able to read part of it. So my husband has been very diligent in trying to learn. Let's see, katakana's a phonetic version. Or maybe I'm thinking of hiragana. Is kanji the Chinese, like the Chinese looking characters? I'm curious. But the signs are a combination. And so you can't just learn one. You've got to really learn all of them. Kanji is the Chinese. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. We got this. A friend loaned me. Actually, she gave it to me since I'm not coming back to Hawaii for a while. She said, here, use this. It is these kanji is pictures. So it like puts the kanji and it gives you a picture and it helps you visually learn the characters by the picture of what it means. So it's really handy. And I've heard like getting children's books and going through and trying to learn that way is great. Yes, my husband is half Japanese. His mom was full Japanese, and he's half Japanese, but knows zero Japanese. And his mom didn't know Japanese also. Yeah, I think he took some Japanese in high school, maybe. So it's not completely foreign. And living in Hawaii, we have a lot of friends that are Japanese and some friends that speak Japanese. And so it's not like it's out of nowhere, like he has like a baseline for things. So I think for him, and he has a really sharp brain. So I think he's going to be fine. And his coworkers, some of his coworkers, like he has Japanese, like co-supervisor or like cohort that's like his equivalent Japanese, and then he's over the English workers. And so they're very helpful in like trying to teach him different things. So that's been great. Let me check. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, even my son said that the sound was sounding alien. Okay. Yeah. So things that I thought I would answer. Oh, Google Translate is amazing. And using the Google Translate function where you can push and talk, use the conversation. Have you ever used the conversation function? So when you push the conversation button on Google Translate, and maybe I can even pull this up. Okay. So you have this screen, and if you put this conversation button down here, if you push conversation, then, okay, so I can talk, and then it gives the, oh, wait, well, that did differently. Okay. It'll like pull up a split screen, and it will let you talk, and then you can push the button, and then the other person can talk, and it's really handy when you're trying to have a conversation. Oh, did I find all the lost items? And no, I haven't found all the lost items, most of them. And so I'm wondering if there were some boxes that got accidentally put in long-term storage. So I'm not really sure. So yeah, my husband he has books. He had packed like an older laptop, um, and things like that, and have not found those things. Yes, checked all the kick plates. That was funny, because when the Japanese movers unpacked the kitchen, it was very fascinating. I love the Japanese movers. They were so efficient, so considerate, so kind. It was amazing. When they unpacked the kitchen items, I thought they would just unpack them and just leave them on the cabinets or just leave it out, because I thought they were unpacking for the sake of like taking the paper and the boxes with them. But they put them where they thought they would logically go and tried to organize my kitchen for me. And it was amazing. But there were things that I'm like, where is it? And I couldn't find it. And then I discovered the kick plates at the very, very bottom next to, like, basically next to the floor, and the drawers that pull out. And there was like almost all the things that I've been missing. There are a few things that are not here. And I'm wondering if maybe I didn't pack them after all. So yeah, they didn't show. They just unpacked and then they were done. And then I'm just like, okay, where is everything? But it was super kind because it was very logical, very laid out, and very neat and organized. And I'm like, oh, that's a neat place to put that. So I've pretty much left where they put things. I've left things there. And then, I still have so much to organize. The open cabinets in the pantry are a mess. And so I've got to schedule some time to get that organized. Sorry, excuse me. So one thing that I had a friend ask, um, were there any surprising things, good or bad, in the first few months living in Japan? And yes. So number one, how quiet things are here. Everything is quiet. Although right now, I don't know if you saw in my house tour video how I said, oh, we have this parking lot in the back and this open space. I don't think we're going to have that for long because they pretty much kicked out all the tenant parking people. So no one's been parking there for a couple of weeks now. And there's now a like digger bulldozer thing that's ripping up the entire parking lot. And so my husband thinks they're going to be building apartments or houses. I mean, you could probably fit like 4 or 5 apartments or houses in that parking lot. So it makes sense economically. But I'm not sure if I'm hoping they're just going to repave the parking lot so we don't lose our open space. But yeah, people are quiet everywhere. So yes, so that, okay. And sorry, I'm all over the place. But yeah, so everything is quiet. Even the cars are quiet. You have to be careful if you're crossing the street or you're stepping off the sidewalk or whatever. You got to look because there may be a car right there beside you, and they're so quiet. And they're not electric cars, so I'm not really sure how or why, but they're so quiet. And we live really close to a main walking path to our train station, and it's quiet. Like there's people walking constantly. And when we're walking to the train, there'll be groups of people, even groups of kids, and they're not talking to each other. They're just walking and just quiet. Just quiet. It's amazing. And then on the trains, quiet. Totally quiet. Oh, yeah. Yeah. The only time really, well, okay. if you're on a local, so there's express and then there's local trains. The local trains stop at every single stop along the way. The express trains skip over stops, so it's faster to get to your destination. And so the local trains, like at nighttime, sometimes like school groups, school kids will be, the teenagers and stuff, they'll be chatty and, and even some of the grandmas and grandpas and local residents will be just chatting away. But that's on the local trains. But on the express trains, you never hear anything except if it is a tourist. Tourists are the ones that you usually hear. And yeah, so I'm like, oh, they're building housing. Ooh, and you will be living beside a construction site. Oh, I think you may be right. I was just hoping for a renovated parking lot. Yeah. Okay. So I can do that. I can ask for reduced rent. I'll look into that. That, it's worth asking. Like I always tell my kids, if the answer is always no, unless you ask. So yeah, thanks for that idea. That's fascinating. Okay. So the quiet everywhere. Oh, and about the quiet, at first it was so peaceful. And I was like, this is amazing. Everything's quiet. This is so, it's therapeutic. It's so like relaxing. I just love it. You can hear the birds. You can hear nature. You can hear yourself think. Coming from Hawaii, we lived near Waikiki and on the side of Diamond Head. And there were always cars zooming, people talking. It was always noise. And so here I was like, oh, this is so great and quiet. But then as time progressed, being here, just me and my husband, and then my husband gone during the day. And then I have a lot of words. I have a lot of emotions, and moving away from family and friends and not having, anyone living nearby. I think I'm the only foreigner living in this area. Or I'm the only person that doesn't look Japanese, but my husband, they assume that he's local and they start talking to him in Japanese. But for me, I don't look Japanese. And so I'm totally stand out. And we wanted to live out on the economy. We wanted to live in a community, like away from base. And, we wanted to live in a place like this. But it gets really lonely, honestly. Everything being so quiet and not able to communicate. There's been days. It's been super, yeah. Sorry. Yeah, super lonely and super frustrating because, oh my goodness. I have lots of emotions. Sorry. So it got really lonely and really hard being here for a little while. My kids are here now while my daughter went back. So that was hard saying goodbye to her. Oh my goodness. Sorry. Yeah, but the quiet started getting really lonely. But then, it's okay. I enjoy the quiet and just embrace it. And I have friends on base. Yeah, most of the neighbors are elderly, and we've tried to reach out. We've gone out and given gifts to all the neighbors a couple times now. No response, which is fine. I'm not giving with any expectation to get anything in return. But I'd heard when you go and you give gifts, then they will reciprocate and it'll start this gift exchange, but we haven't experienced that, and it's totally fine. We gave gifts, and I made these little goodie bags, and I made lilikoi mochi and made these little cards translated saying, we're happy to be your neighbor. If you need any help, please let us know. We're happy to help you in any way. We hope to get to know you more in the future. And, just kind of letting them know, thank you for being our neighbors and we're grateful to live here and all that. So that was the intent, is just to, yeah. Um, yeah. So we haven't heard anything in return, which is fine. I'm not expecting that. It is totally fine. Okay. Enough of that. They will put up signage if they're building and it will tell you how long construction will be. Okay. I haven't seen any signs yet. So maybe, yeah, it's interesting. I'll go and look, but they haven't put up any indication of what they're doing. So maybe now that they're, starting this process, I'll go and look. Do you know last May? Ooh, yeah. I don't know what. Hmm. Yeah, I'm not familiar with that in Waikiki. I have to look that up. Um, yeah, I do need friends. YouTube's my friends. Yeah, that's one of the reasons I started this channel, is for a creative outlet, um, and to, just to share the experience. A lot of my friends and family may never be able to come and visit. And so it's a way to stay connected, a way for them to kind of see what life is like for us here and what we're experiencing, because everything is new. I had never been to Japan before we moved in January. Never been here. And so everything was new. Now, coming from Hawaii, there's a lot of Japanese influence, and my husband being part Japanese, even though American Japanese, so not Japanese. Uh, it's not as much culture shock, but still quite a bit of things that we're discovering and learning. Why is we have lunch with? There are a few, like I jumped in the day after we arrived. There's like this women's Bible study on base at the chapel. And I went and jumped in, and there was some wonderful, wonderful ladies that were so kind and befriended me. And we've kept in touch. And so, yeah, we hope to like periodically get together. I got to be more intentional about that. I'm an introvert by nature, and so I default to hanging out at home. But my goal for myself is to put myself out there more. And there's also some little coffee shops nearby. And so my husband's idea was, just go regularly and befriend the coffee shop owners. And, maybe they would love helping me practice my Japanese and, just establish, relationships that way. I had high hopes to really get to know the neighbors really, really well. And I don't know if it's reciprocal. I don't know. So I'm just taking that with realizing that God didn't bring me here for everyone. He brought me here for some people, and he brought me here for a reason. And it's just all good. One every few months. I was so grateful that when my friends came a couple months ago, it was perfect timing because we had just moved into our house. My husband was, frequently gone to work. And so it really gave me a boost of energy and excitement because I got to venture with them around, and it's fun discovering new things. Yeah. Yeah. PQ, that's an interesting thing. And I wasn't sure I was going to talk about this or not. Some older Japanese are not so friendly with foreigners. One thing. Yeah, it was really sad. A few days ago, my son and I were here, and we noticed out the window, one of our neighbors was on the ground, an elderly man. I don't know how old he is, super elderly. And it was green rubbish day. So everybody was kind of doing their yards and getting their green waste together to put in the recycle green waste bin. And this neighbor had been doing his weeding in his yard, and he had fallen and had been on the ground and was on the ground. I don't know how long he had been on the ground before we found him. And my son noticed him first. And he was like, Mom, I think he's hurt. I think he needs help. And I was like, oh, I'm like, yeah, because we could only just see like his legs, his waist and his legs. And then my son was like, oh, no, I think he's just weeding. I think he's just down on the ground to get to the weeds. And then as we kept watching, we noticed, no, it wasn't that. He couldn't get up. And so we're like, okay, we were on our way to the Combini, which is right at the end of our driveway, which is a really fun thing. Lawson is literally like the sign from the Lawson comes in my window and it's like right there. It's so convenient. It's a good and bad thing. But anyway, we had gone to get a snack. We're like, okay, we'll go and get our snack, and that will give us a better view coming back, and we'll kind of observe as we walk back and see, if he is really needing help. And on our way back, we noticed, yeah, he was down and it's like he didn't have enough strength to hoist himself up. He had a stick and he was like trying to get the stick, and he was trying to reach for the gate, like the fence that was nearby, and he couldn't reach his arm up to get the fence, and he couldn't. His shoes were off. He was barefoot. It was cold and windy, and our hearts just like, oh my goodness. Okay, so we put our stuff inside the house, and we're like, okay, we're going to go and we're going to help him. And so we pulled up on Google Translate, excuse me, sumimasen, do you need help? Can I help you? And, I told my son, because he looks hapa, he looks mixed, that maybe he would have a better chance of the gentleman helping him. And so we went over, and because he's young and he's a guy, and so we went over, and he clearly was struggling, and he had been there for a while. And so my son asked him, can I help you? Sumimasen, can I help you? And he said it in Japanese. And the gentleman was like, had kind of like an angry face expression, and, was clearly, and then like he kept saying, no, I don't need help. I don't need help, or whatever. And the other neighbor was an elderly woman, and she was doing her yard, near him. And she saw us come approach him, and then she had kind of like an angry look on her face, like, what are you guys doing? And, so, I smiled and bowed, and I've given her a couple of gifts, and, like try to be like as friendly and kind as I can to her. And so, we told her, we were trying to help him, and she started doing this, like, go away. And so we're like, oh, what do we do? He clearly is struggling, and he was cold, and he had been there a while. And so we were like, okay, I'm like, Zach, I think they don't want us to help, and they clearly want us to go away. And so it just broke my heart leaving him in that state. And so we went back to our house, and I sat so I could watch to see, if he got up and how he was doing. And he was there like an hour more, like almost 2 more hours. And it was getting late. And I called my husband. I'm like, what do we do? Do I call like the emergency number? But he wasn't injured, but I was like, I don't know what to do. And so I told my husband, I was like, maybe when you come home, because everyone always thinks he's local and he's Japanese, and so they're more open and friendly to him. Maybe when he comes home, he can go over and help him. And when we left, then the elderly lady, after we left, then she went over and she got behind him, like trying to push him, but she's elderly, and so she couldn't help him. She didn't have enough strength to help him have enough strength to get up. It was so heartbreaking. And so all we could do was sit here and just pray for them. And I'm like, I don't know. Yeah. And so eventually, before my husband got home, because my husband was like, yeah, when I get home, I'll go over, I'll try to help. And before my husband got home, a handy van came. Well, I say handy van. I couldn't read the Japanese on the side, but it looked like a handy van kind of thing came, and the gentleman was bringing the elderly man's wife back from somewhere. I don't know if care home or a day facility or something. And he was helping her. So he helped her into the house, and then he came out and helped the gentleman up from the ground and then left. And the gentleman, the elderly man, he got up and he kept he had been on the ground like at least 3 hours in the cold, struggling. He still kept doing the yard work and collecting things and bending over. I'm like, any minute he's going to fall again. I'm like, oh my gosh. But it was like, wow. And he had to do it slowly, and he had to, and at one point while he was down, he did get up enough and he got the stick, and he was trying to get his shoe with his stick, and he got his shoe with his stick, and he almost got it to his foot, and then it fell off. It was just like, oh my gosh. It was so heartbreaking. And I'm like, we could have helped him. And I'm like, so it made me sad, but PQ, I think you're right. I think it was pride. And I understand, like I had heard that, they don't prefer being seen as people showing pity, we weren't trying to show pity. We were trying to be helpful. And so I was trying to, we were just trying to help him up so that he didn't, it was so heartbreaking, but he eventually made his way inside the house. My husband got home and he was still out there doing the yard. And I'm like, wow, it was heartbreaking. But the other thing that I wasn't sure I was going to share was this, it may be controversial, and I don't know, but I've asked friends, like, is it a thing? But my husband has lots of friends who are Caucasian men, and they've married Japanese women, and it seems to be fine. But being a Caucasian woman marrying a Japanese man is not preferred. And so I have received some not so fun interactions and responses to that, which is very heartbreaking. But it's okay. It's okay. I don't, as much as I want everyone to like me and to love me and let me care for them and, all that, they're not always going to do that. And it's okay. And culturally, that's just a thing, I guess. And so I've just had to do a lot of self-reflecting and just kind of, who am I and why am I here? And it's okay. It's okay that people, it's okay that they have that feeling. It's okay. Enough of that. Yeah. Okay. The other thing that was surprising, good or bad, since moving to Japan, is how strict and detailed the trash and recycling is. Oh, PQ, it isn't okay. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate, but I understand it's hard because it's a different culture, and I'm trying to I'm trying to understand and be sensitive and understanding of the different culture. Um, but thank you for that. I was really sad. I was really sad for a while because I started sensing it the first couple weeks we were here, and I thought it was in my mind. I thought I was just being extra sensitive, and then my husband started noticing it, and then we started noticing how we were treated differently when we went into shops and stuff, um, and some very blatant reactions that I was very shocked and surprised at. But you know, I, I it's hard. Um, Yeah, PQ, I think maybe you're right. I'm not sure. Yeah, you may be right. Oh, but I don't want to end on a downer. Let's end on something fun. Okay. Um, oh, I know what I wanted to talk about. When my daughter was here, we ventured out and went to this park and we went on this rolly slide. And it was so crazy, borderline dangerous. And that video, I'm gonna share that video. It's ready to go. I think I'm sharing it Thursday. Um, the other fun thing is my husband. So, not fun thing. My son, a week and a half ago now, had to have emergency appendix surgery. So we got to see the inside of the military base ER. He's recovering and healing. Thankfully, he got very swift help and it hadn't burst yet. And so he's doing much better. But we had scheduled a tour of this old town, kind of far away through the base. The base plans these like excursions and stuff. It's not cheap. And I booked 3 tickets for the 3 of us and soba making and stuff like that. And we didn't get to go because I didn't want to leave my son. And he could not have handled the 4 a.m. to 10 p.m. trip. And so my husband went yesterday and came back with these Japanese kusho. Shucks, I can't remember the name. It's these little peppers that are like Szechuan peppers, and they're super spicy. They numb your tongue, and they are amazing. I'm going to try my hand at drying them and making a powder with my suribachi bowl that I bought. But we ate one. They're green. They're fresh green. They haven't ripened to the red state right now. Green. They're tiny, tiny, tiny. And we ate one, and I held it held it on the tip of my tongue, and you could feel it numbing my tongue as I held it there. It was amazing. It was so interesting, but it was so good. It was very citrusy. And so I'm going to try my hand at drying them in the convection oven. I don't know how that's going to work. And then grinding it into a paste. And I've heard that it's super good to sprinkle on like fish or eel, or, use it as a seasoning. And so, apparently it's very prized and it's rare. And he bought some at a shop while he was on this trip. And yeah, I'm excited to try that. Oh, Brando, what's the best thing you've had in terms of food since arriving? Oh, that's a hard one. There's so much good food. Oh my gosh, there's so much good food. I thought walking so many miles per day, so many steps per day, I could just eat whatever. I gained so much weight the first couple of months because we were just like, everything is so good. I think, okay, what's my favorite? We've discovered this. It's chicken karage curry udon, and it's this little shop in the Mikasa Mall, close to Yokosuka base, and it's homemade curry, the most delicious udon noodles, and then the most scrumptious chicken karaage. So good. So, so, so good. Oh my gosh, my mouth's watering now. Thanks. Thanks, Brando. The other thing that, um, other thing, uh, tonkatsu, udon. Oh, no, not udon. Let's see. Oyaku donburi. So tonkatsu donburi. That's it. Tonkatsu donburi. We found this place in Koska. No, it's in More City Mall, top floor, and they serve the most delicious tonkatsu, melt in your mouth. And if you get it, tonkatsu donburi, it comes with like rice and egg and sauce and onions. It's so good. So, so good. Have I tried radish furikake sprinkled on rice? Radish furikake. I haven't. I did buy these packs of various kinds of furikake. Maybe I'll look at my pack. Maybe one of them is radish furikake. It's different flavorings of furikake sprinkled on rice. I'll have to look because I have to use Google Translate because everything's in Japanese that I buy from the local markets. But I love shopping. I prefer shopping at the local markets because all the produce, oh my gosh, I've never wanted to buy so many vegetables in my life than walking through the local Japanese markets. Everything looks so fresh, like the long stalks of green onions and the huge daikon and all the different greens is just so good. One of our favorite things to make that's super easy and fast and healthy is hot pot. So I love just going to the local market and just filling my basket with tons of veggies and mushrooms, different kinds of mushrooms. Oh, the Japanese mushrooms are so good. Oh, you're making me hungry. I haven't had breakfast. It's 11:30. And because I was so nervous about making this live, I didn't have breakfast. It's 11:30 and haven't had lunch yet. So I may have to go off and go get something to eat, but you're making me hungry. The other thing that, let's see, food wise, the fish, can't beat it. Fresh, melt in your mouth. Fresh fish. I got some marinated mackerel at the local market and cooked it in our fish grill, and it was so good. So good. Brando, have you been to Japan? I'm curious. Yeah, let's see. I hope your channel grows. Consider me. Oh, okay. Yeah. Thanks for that advice, PQ. Thank you for your encouragement and your support. I really appreciate that. Yeah, I'm just grateful for everyone that's tolerating me and logging on and wanting to hear what I have to say. I know not everyone's cup of tea, and I have a lot of words, and I have a lot of verbal pauses. I've noticed I say I, not as much as I do. So that's my transition word. And on the Rolly slide video, okay, so and are my 3 transition words. And I'm trying really, really hard to be better about that. You felt an urge to learn Japanese because of the language barrier. Okay, so that is, Brando, that is a really good question. So yes, I started with, what's it called? An app, free app. Duolingo, and started doing that. I hate the language barrier. I feel, okay, I feel that it is not just a barrier to communicate, but a barrier of relationship. And so My heart's desire is to have relationships and build genuine, authentic relationships with people. Like, I want to be able to express my care and concern for my neighbors. I want to express, be able to like ask them how I can help them or give them compliments and things like that. But I can't because I can't speak. And Google Translate will only get you so far. Now, for tourists and for short term, Google Translate, no problem. It's great. And if you're just going to the market or going to the company or going to a tourist spot or whatever, Google Translate is more than sufficient. It is so powerful and has lots of great functions. So no problem. But we're going to be here minimum 3 years, maybe 5, up to possibly 10. God knows how long. I don't know. So whatever God decides, but minimum 3 because that's the contract. And it's so discouraging not being able to communicate or understand. And when I'm trying to talk to someone and they're really trying to help me or they're really trying to tell me something and I just can't understand. Like it's just a barrier of communication and it's frustrating. So I do have an urge to learn Japanese. However, my brain, I just feel like I have a lot of brain fog issues and I have like slow brain at this stage of life through various things. And so it's so hard. Japanese is so complex, but I'm not giving up. I'm going to keep trying. I'm not going to just like throw my hands up in the air and say, forget it. I don't need to learn Japanese. Forget that. I feel like I don't want to have an entitled attitude where I feel like, well, they should learn English or they should be able to communicate in English. And I don't know, because I feel like if I'm ever able to learn to speak, then I think that is a sign of respect, a sign of that I'm trying and I care about them and I care about who they are and I care about their culture and I care about not just living an entitled life. Oh, Brandon, I see. Totally understand. It's probably how babies feel trying to communicate with their parents, but can't even speak yet because they're like 2, 3 years old and having no one understand. Exactly. That's how I feel. That is how I feel. And I feel so bad. Like, I'm like, oh, so missing. And like sticking my phone in their face for them to speak into my phone, which has been, it's been helpful. And a lot of times it's, been great. But the older generation, it's a very big turnoff. And I feel kind of rude having to do that. Our neighbor next door, I was complimenting him on they have beautiful flowers and plants. Like their whole property is just gorgeous plants and flowers and fruit. And I'm just amazed. And he was out tending. He's very faithful tending his garden. And I was like, oh, I want to say something nice. I want to try to establish a relationship, right? And so I went and, I learned how to say in Google Translate, I love your flowers. You have a beautiful garden. And here's the thing. Try to learn basics. Good morning. Yes, thank you. Yes, I'm trying to learn some of those basics and how to communicate at the kombini because they, it's kind of a standard set of questions that they ask you. Do you fukuro is shopping bag? Daijoubu. Punto card. I got a point card now. I'm earning points at the Lawson. I'm not sure what it gets me, but I have my point card. But here's the thing, PQ. I get so excited that I can ask a question or I can say a sentence in Japanese. And then when they respond, I have no idea what they responded. And so I feel so silly. I'm like, yeah, okay. That's the end of that. So I yesterday when we went to the convenience, we went to the Lawsons, the clerk, Zach and I, my son, we were trying to use our Japanese, and she thought it was so cute, and so she just kinda giggled at us trying to respond and answer in Japanese. So I know that it's appreciated. Any little bit that we learn is appreciated, but yeah. I'm like, "Okay, I can say to you, 'I love your garden,' or, uh, ask you a question, but I don't know what you're saying in response." So, yeah, it's kinda interesting. Is there a community center nearby? I'm not sure. Um, I can that's one thing that my husband suggested. He was like, "Go volunteer somewhere." So I'm gonna venture and try to, see, some of those see if there's a community center nearby that I can maybe volunteer or, participate in some of the activities, if they'll accept me and my Google Translate on my phone. Oh, thank you, Martin. I appreciate all your wisdom, uh, and yeah, helping us navigate. Martin is a dear friend from Hawaii, and yeah, I've been like, "Help. What about this? What about this?" And he's been so great in helping us navigate some different things. So I really appreciate that. Um, and Brando, uh, God willing, yeah. So I hope, Brando, I hope that you are able to come and visit. If you do come and visit, where is your bucket list places to visit? I'm curious. Um, and PQ, you said you were hoping to retire here. Where would you like to retire? Tokyo or another area? Recently, I had a dear friend from Hawaii, and her husband wants to retire here, and they just bought a house um, close to Sasebo. Further south than us. It's like way far south. Um, Fukuoka is where they bought a house, and so they're renovating it, and I think they're eventually planning to retire here. I'm like, wow. And they don't speak Japanese either, so she was learning how to do her Google. They just came recently doing the renovations, and she was she watched my video on the top apps that you need for Japan, a video that I made, and it's the apps that I found the most helpful. Oh, Saitama. Oh, close. So maybe outskirts of Tokyo. Oh, Saitama. I'll have to look up that area. That's very fascinating. Okay. Sorry for that brain burp. Well, everyone would love to visit Tokyo in general, but I want to visit areas in Saitama. Oh, that's where PQ's hoping to retire. Venturing out to see more. I've got to Google that. I've never heard of Saitama, but there's a lot of places I've never heard of. Martin, you were born in Saitama? What? I thought you were born in Guam. I'm, yeah. How did I not know that? You're, yeah, I'm so clueless. Huh. Shows how much I know. Want to find a nice old, yeah, IKEA. I will post a link to the guy that my friend used. She highly, highly recommends him. He speaks English, and he is like, I don't know if he's a broker or I'm not really sure what his title is, but he helps people find homes in Japan and oversees the renovations and all the things. And he's fluent in Japanese. He is Japanese. Um, but perfect English. I think he lived in America for a while. I'm not really sure his story, but yeah, so he helps me. He's very, very present on YouTube and Instagram and things like that, sharing the different areas and different homes and what you can find and all of that. So yeah. And my husband's friend is always telling him, you should retire here. So yeah. So Martin, PQ wants to know what parts of Saitama are best. To live. You would be the expert. So Martin, have you been back to visit Saitama? Do you still have family there? I'm curious. Wow. That's so interesting. I love this. Thank you guys for being here and participating. Yeah, I'm not sure why the other live did not work. That's very frustrating, but the StreamYard did work. So I'm grateful for that. Martin, okay. What is a culture shock that you love? Ooh. Culture shock that I love. Oh, cultural shock. Think on that. Culture shock that I love. Things I love that's different here. Oh, the baths and the onsens are amazing. Yeah, the spas, the onsens, the ofuro, our bathroom. Ofuro is my favorite part of our house. I don't know if that's a culture shock. I didn't realize how many baths they took. But yeah. Oh, and I think I put another thing that was surprising. I don't know if it's necessarily culture shock, but the how many flowers there are everywhere. I've always, when I think of Japan, I think cherry blossoms. And yeah, Japan is so much more than cherry blossoms. The cherry blossoms are amazing and breathtaking and fantastic and just awe-inspiring. But there are so many beautiful plants and flowers and just everywhere. And I've just been amazed at all the beautiful, beautiful plants, and everything that's here is just amazing. Culture shock. The public transportation. I love it. I love how easy it is and how fast, how predictable, how clean, consistent, it's reliable, and you really can get anywhere. You can go anywhere on the public transportation, and it's so easy. Let's see. Culture shock that I love. Trying to think what else. The food, the fresh fish. Yeah, I don't know if any of those are culture shocks. I didn't have as much culture shock as other people moving here, because I came from Hawaii, and there's a lot of Japanese influence there. And my husband's half Japanese, and so his family, a lot of Japanese culture that way. But I think, yeah, transportation. Oh my goodness. And even the buses. So I got the Suica card app, and that works for all the trains. You can even link your Shinkansen ticket to your Suica app on your phone. And even the buses, just tap your phone. It's amazing. And it is so, and okay, one thing about the trains, if you're ever coming here, don't panic if you miss your train. There's always another train coming. Like, not far. Unless you're traveling late at night, the frequency is less. But I've had people say that they've had to like run and like kill themselves trying to make the transfers and stuff, going places. But what I discovered is that's exhausting, and that makes the trip not enjoyable. And unless you have a deadline that you're missing, of course, give yourself buffer time. But Hey, you miss your train? Just refresh your Google Maps and it will tell you the next train to take. And it's usually like a few minutes after the one that just left that you missed or whatever. Um, so yeah, so don't panic if you're in the train. I just encourage you, don't be afraid of the public transportation like I was initially. Google Maps is your friend, and don't panic if you miss your train. There's always another one coming. So okay, it's been an hour and 15. I could keep talking and talking and talking. There is so much more. I didn't even talk about half the things that I had as backup things to talk about. And as you can tell, I do have a lot of words. So thank you for letting me get a lot of my words out here. Um, I would love feedback. Like, is this the kind of live that you enjoy? I feel like I've kind of been rambling, but and PQ, I hope Martin is able to answer. If he can't answer during the live, then maybe he can answer in the comments to give you some places in Saitama that are good to live. And I'm going to look that up when I log off after I get something to eat so I don't pass out from uh, low blood sugar. But yeah, so thank you so much for being here. And I hope that you follow along on this journey with me. I'm so glad you're here. And thank you for those that have participated in the chat. Thank you for your love and your support. And I have so much more to come. We did so much traveling when we first got here, and I have so much footage from that that I haven't even put into videos yet. I have some more cooking videos to do. I have the Rolly Park, my daughter's trip to our trip with our daughter to Tokyo. I have so much that I'm trying to, get edited and get out there for you. And I would just love to know like what you would like to see more of. If you have specific questions that I could answer in a video or cover, I would love to do that. And yeah, I just appreciate you being here. The live that I have scheduled next week, it is also going to be on StreamYard, and this seems to be the most consistent, the best one to do. I'm going to log on, and I have a Google Doc that I'm going to launch after this, and it's in the description of the live announcement. I added it in for next Tuesday, and what I'm going to do is people can log on and they can put the different things that they're looking for in their dream home and answer the questions, and it's going to populate in a Google Sheet for me. And I'm going to pick a few, log on, and kind of just dream with you and see what's out there right now, and just have some fun that way. I'm no expert, but I do have some different sites and different websites and resources that I think could be helpful. And I think it'll just be fun. So I hope you're here for that. And hopefully, not hopefully, I'm going to use StreamYard, and looks like that's the most consistent. I'm not sure why just the direct YouTube feed didn't work. But anyway, enough of that. Thank you so much for being here. I love your support. God bless. And from my heart to yours, sincerely, Dawn. Have a nice day. Ohayou gozaimasu. Well, let's see. Konbanwa. Well, it's not afternoon. Konnichiwa. That's midday. It's 12 o'clock. So konnichiwa. Okay, bye. Thank you so much, PQ and Brando and Martin and everyone else that was here.